Hi Glowgetters, welcome back to my channel. Royal Glow here. This is another Glow Gizmos episode, the segment of my channel where I talk about all things tech. In this episode, we're talking about iOS 16, which has just recently been released. We're going to go through what I feel are the most significant and useful changes in the software to help you get the most out of your iPhone. Let's get it.
Royal Glow, can't you see that glow? Yeah.
Being able to customize the lock screen is definitely the standout feature of this update. I've already played around and made a few. You press down on the lock screen, swipe right, and you can make a completely new one by tapping on that plus button. At the top you can see all your wallpaper options, and let's go through them. Starting off is the photo wallpaper. You can pick any photo and swipe through for the various filters, but I think portrait photos look best, especially if you want to try out the depth effect, which is where the subject of the photo kind of juts out and covers the clock in this cool 3D way. But if your photo covers too much of the clock, like mine, then the effect won't work, so just bear that in mind. The emoji wallpaper is super fun to play around with. You can literally pick any combination of emojis, using up to 6 emojis, and even change the background color for a super unique wallpaper. I just randomly picked these 3, and you can swipe through for different grid sizes to change the look. The spiral one is really cool though. So with any wallpaper you choose, you can customize the font of the clock, and when you change the font color, it also changes the color of the date and any widgets you have. You can swipe through to the end to get the color picker and use it to get a color from your wallpaper, so it can be an exact match. You could even pick a tiny spot of color from your wallpaper, for example from the emoji's eye, if you want it to be that extra. So, widgets were the exciting new feature in iOS 14, and now in iOS 16 you can add them to your lock screen. You can add up to 2 big ones and 4 small ones. It all depends on what you have installed, so you can scroll down to see what options you have. Adding a widget is really simple. You tap on your desired widget and it will add it. To remove one, you tap on that subtract icon and it's gone. We're going to add a reminder widget because we all need to remember to drink water, apply sunscreen, and glow, grow, and get it. When you're done customizing your wallpaper, tap done and it will automatically make a matching home screen wallpaper for you. If you like it, just tap on set as wallpaper pair, but if you want a different look, go into customize home screen. And there you can choose a color, which you can switch up to whatever color you like. You can choose a gradient, or you can even pick a photo from your photo albums. And that's it, you're done. You've made a wallpaper pair. The weather wallpaper shows the weather in your current location. It looks really cool when it's raining because it has that animation. It would also make sense to add a weather widget and just lean into weather vibes. Astronomy wallpapers are pretty mesmerizing to swipe through. The Earth wallpaper shows your location on Earth, and Earth detail brings it closer. The moon is the moon, and details also brings it closer. Fun fact about the solar system wallpaper, it shows how the planets are actually lined up at the moment, so that's a fun little Easter egg. Now, collections is pretty much the stock wallpapers that Apple gives you. Remember that depth effect I talked about, where it covers the clock? Well, you can see it here. So you can still toggle that depth effect on and off, but just note if you do add any widgets at all, that depth effect will automatically be turned off. I'm gonna go with this emoji wallpaper because it matches my phone case, which is purple and has blue buttons. And also I've already set up my home screen icons to match. Going into the system, you can see Spotlight Search is now at the bottom. You can still swipe through your home pages normally, but when you stop, search appears. Now before you had to swipe down on the screen to access Spotlight, but now it's conveniently placed at the bottom. Spotlight is still smart and recommends apps based on your usage. You can even use it as a calculator and it will get it right, though that's a bit more of a hassle than using the calculator, but nice to know it's there. Also, when you search for something, it searches in your photos, it searches in your installed apps, and if it's not in any of those, you can tell it exactly where you want it to search. Notifications have a new look too. They're at the bottom of the screen now and you swipe up to see them. Let's go into notification settings where you can change how the notifications show up. First up is count, where it basically shows something like 2 notifications, super clean, my favorite. Next up is stack, where it's basically your notifications stacked on top of each other. And last of all is list, which is basically what we're used to, the expanded version of a stack. Still in the notification shade, when you're playing music, the album art now takes up the entire screen with the music controller now at the bottom and has this little sound wave in the corner. Haptic feedback has returned to the keyboard, so you turn that on by going into Sounds and Haptics, scroll down until you see keyboard feedback and toggle on haptics so you get a nice little vibration when you tap on keys as you type. Jumping into Wi-Fi settings, how many times have you forgotten your password when trying to connect a new device or someone comes over? Now you can just tap on password, it'll scan for Face ID and voila, it will reveal your password, but you can then copy it and send it to somebody else. If you go into battery settings, you'll find that you can now toggle on battery percentage in the status bar. The battery icon will also change color, yellow for low power mode, green when charging, and red when it's low. Finally, everyone gets the fitness app installed automatically, even without an Apple Watch. You can set a move goal, which is just that red ring, but you can also share your progress with your contacts and also get awards for how much you move around that day. Now, sleep tracking does need an Apple Watch. It's not a new feature, but it has some updates. Now you can see the stages of your sleep and see how much of your sleep was REM sleep, core sleep, deep sleep, and you can also get more information about what each stage means. A completely new addition to the health app is medication. Now, even if you're not on prescribed meds, you can take advantage of this feature. For example, with remembering to take your gummies for hair and nails or doing a weekly peel, it can help you stay consistent. So you select what type of medication it is, then you input how often you want to take it. It will then give you a reminder at your selected time, and you can log whether you've taken it or not. You can now conveniently convert pretty much anything right from your conversation in iMessage. So currency, there you go, from dollars to pounds. And you can do the same even for distances and for temperature, but that's weird. Who uses Kelvin? Okay, so instead maybe long press on it, and there you go. Now you have Fahrenheit instead. And it even works within a sentence, so yeah, long pressing also gets you more options, and you can go through all of them to really get the nitty-gritty. And the same thing for translation. You no longer have to go translate somewhere else. You can do it right from the conversation. So that's really useful, especially if you have friends abroad or maybe you just need to conduct business with someone in another country. So it's just very convenient to have it right there. So one of those at long last features is here now. Finally, you can recall a message. So let's say you send it, you change your mind, you can simply long press on it, tap undo send, and the message will disappear. But this is only within 2 minutes of sending the message, and only if the other person has iOS 16. Trust me, I've tried. They'll still see it if they don't have iOS 16. And also, now you can edit a message. So let's say you send, maybe you have a typo or you send something particularly risky, you change your mind, you can long press again, tap on edit this time, change it to whatever you want to change it to, and send it again, right? But this time there is this little edit log, so the other person can also see it. You can also mark messages as unread now. So let's say you read a message, don't have time to respond, you can just mark it as unread and find it later easily. Now you can point your camera at pretty much anything, whether it's a different language, different conversion, currency, whatever it is. You tap on those 3 lines and then you can easily translate it from there, even without actually taking a photo. And it only worked in photos before, but now you can also do it in videos. This feature is really cool. So now you can long press on a photo and basically remove the subject from its background. So you can do this little finger gymnastics thing where you get out of the Photos app and go and drag and drop it into another app, whether it's notes, messages, an editing application. You can basically do the same thing without the gymnastics by just tapping on copy, and you can again go and paste it somewhere else. This is potentially useful for people making thumbnails, or maybe someone with a business making a more professional catalog. So really, really dope feature. The recently deleted and hidden folders in your Photos album are now locked, which is much more secure. You can change it, but it's better to leave it this way. There's also duplicates folder where all of your duplicates can be merged, or you can sort through one by one. Now in focus modes, you can now select apps and people you want notifications from or silenced from. You can also pair it with a specific lock screen and home screen. What I want to highlight is the focus filters. So select apps can filter the conversations that you see. So for example, in mail, if I select this mailbox, I will only receive emails from this one mailbox. Useful at the weekend if you don't want to see mail from work, for example. So even though I'm in all inboxes, you can see it says filtered by focus, so I'll only see those emails. Still in the Mail app, you can now long press the send button to schedule to send your mail later, and you can also undo sending. So that's it, some iOS 16 features. Which one's your favorite? Comment down below what you think you'll use the most. For me, it's definitely that lifting the subject off its background. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and until next time, glow, grow, and get it.
Royal glow, can't you see that glow? Yeah. Fine like gold, she's so sweet and curly. Yeah, yeah, Majestina, African melanin queen, every machine.